Hello, 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 and welcome back to another Microsoft Ignite Roundup. So we're looking at Microsoft Ignite 2024, which happened just yesterday. And as usual, we had a big old keynote talking about all the major innovations, all the things that are coming out, what the new features are across Azure, Office 365, across Fabric. There's a whole bunch of stuff. And if you're anything like me, you're still recovering from playing the every time they mention Copilot drinking game, because there's a lot of Copilot. Spoilers, we're going to be talking about Copilot quite a lot in this video. I just wanted to just take a moment to grab the book of news, have a look at the major features that are in there, and kind of just look at the trend of where things are going, and kind of just clear up a couple of things, because there's a few things we were sat there watching going, what? Isn't that just a rename? Is that just a rename? No, that's new. Where did that come from? So, going to step through, clear some of that stuff up, and have a chat about where we think things are going. That's the plan. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new around here, and yeah, let us know what feature in the book of news you're most excited about. I'm going to put a link down below so you can check it out yourself. As always, do read the feature announcements yourselves. Don't just take my word for it. But yeah, let's go and have a look. So, here we have the big book of news for Ignite 2024. Bunch of stuff in here, so you can go through and pick out all the bits that you are interested with. As always, I'm a data and AI person, so I'll be skipping over the bits that's to do with things that aren't data and AI. So you specialize in the bits that you like, and that's good. All right, so getting to it. Number one, agents. Now, if you're going to categorize 2024 in tech and data and AI, you probably would say it's the year of agentic frameworks. We've heard that term, agentic frameworks, so many times. Last year was a year of Gen AI. This year is all about agentic frameworks. So essentially what we're saying is it's changing it from some kind of conversational AI. There's something where I can ask it a question and it'll give me some text response. And it's just a conversational language generation thing. When we talk agents, we're saying they can actually go out and impact the real world. That's essentially it. So an agent is, yeah, conversational chatbot style things. Think ChatGPT, but think ChatGPT that can log a service ticket, that can update a record for you, that can send an email, that can go and interact with the physical world. It's essentially giving it the ability to go and actually do things. Hey, I've now taught you, I've given you the skill about how to log a service request. So anytime I'm chatting and they go, well, do you want to log a service request? Yes, please. They've gone and logged that service request. That is my workflow automated. That's what all this stuff is about. So there's a bunch of the announcements which are all around the building of agents. How do you build a new agent? Essentially, workflow automation driven by an AI that we then start to teach to do new things. I've given you the skills to log a service request, to send an email, to summarize a document. Actually, we're going to give you the skill to now call an API and send a response there. It's that kind of extending the things that they know how to do. So there's a bunch of stuff. So firstly, there's a load of purpose-built agents in Microsoft 365. So you can go in and talk to the SharePoint agent, the employee self-service agent, facilitator agent. So rather than you having to go, right, here's a load of common tasks, there's a bunch of out-of-the-box agents that already know how to do things in the Microsoft ecosystem. They'll then be able to do things. So rather than going to like a general big, this is my one giant Copilot, and it needs to know how to do literally anything you can ask it to, you can go to the employee self-service agent that specifically knows how to do certain things inside of Office 365 to do with that. So looking at benefits, looking at payroll, starting leave of absence. It's basically narrowing down that task and go, this thing is really good at doing this thing. If you want HR information, talk to the HR agent. You want to talk to my project management agent, talk to the PM agent, and it'll be able to register tasks, find meetings, do those kind of things. It's breaking it up so you have the right person to talk to do the relevant task. So there's a bunch of those already pre-built that we're going to see. Now, if you've got those and you're like, oh yeah, but there's kind of stuff I want to do inside my business that doesn't fit into any of those out-of-the-box agent. There isn't an agent that does the thing that I need to do on my own personal application or my Dynamics 365 or whatever it happens to be. And I want to just say, actually, I want to make an agent that has this specific set of skills. And I want to tell it how to work. That's what Copilot Studio is. So we've now got Copilot Studio, essentially a development workspace that's quite light, quite easy to use. Think it's Power Platform, but for AI. To be able to actually say, hey, there's an agent, I'm going to give you these skills. Now send it out into the world and people can go and work with that thing. And it has this remit of what it can do and the skills that it's been given. So if you're looking to build new agents, you're looking to build out little customized flavors of Copilot for different people to interact with. And that's what you can now do in Copilot Studio. It's a fairly big thing that's coming out. Now, you can go a bit deeper in there. So kind of where we've got like essentially 3 levels of depth that you have in terms of building an agent. So you've got I want to take one of those off-the-shelf ones. I want to take the existing employee self-serve agent. I want to take the PM agent. You've got the Copilot Studio. I'm going to customize it. And there's some bunch of things in here just to give you a little bit more depth. There is a SDK. There is integrations into kind of the proper pro code dev environment. And then you've got the full depth, which is actually, I want to fine-tune a model. I want to build a proper retrieval augmented generation architecture. I want to build some actual AI. And that's when you get to the actual pro code dev environment, which is called Azure AI Foundry. Now, used to be called Azure AI Studio. That is name change as part of Ignite. That is now called Azure AI Foundry. So you've got those 3 things. Off the shelf, Copilot Studio, kind of letting everyone have a go at building their own agents. And then Azure AI Foundry for your pro code data scientists actually working to build out new flavors of AI. They're going to be doing that in the full area. So yeah, just a bit of context, because we were sat there with these names coming out going, wait, is that Azure AI Studio? Yeah, that's okay. That's a new name. Cool. That's fine. But how does that relate to Copilot Studio? There is overlap. Some of them do similar things and you can kind of get it to do it. But essentially have it in mind, those different personas, and you'll have a better time. So a bunch of other stuff you can do. So being able to allow image upload, getting Copilot to go and look at images and respond based on that. Voice-enabled agents, so you can go and talk to it and it'll actually respond to you. And great demo that we actually saw in the Ignite keynote of just chatting. As if it was a phone call. It's everyone's fear of the automated bots on the telephone line, but actually generating natural language much more efficiently and actually talking and responding and adapting what it's doing. Getting very cool, the types of work automation you can do there. So yeah, lots of different things, lots of instructions, essentially making agents really, really cool. And then into Copilot itself. So you've got these things called Copilot actions, and that's essentially that same thing of going, there's a repeatable task. Copilot, this is an action you can take. I want you to summarize it, but in this form, there should only be 5 bullet points. Do it on this time of day. It's that kind of essentially building out a prompt template, which you then save and go, right, if I need this, here's the detailed set of instructions as to how to do it. So I don't have to write out a massive prompt each time. I can just tell you to go and do it. And it'll actually make it a bit more repeatable, a bit more testable. More cool stuff. If you are in a Teams meeting and someone shares their screen and they've got some slides or a document or something, like so previously we've had Copilot, so you could then go after the meeting, ask a question about what happened. And it will have done the voice transcript. It'll say, well, this person said this person said this, but it wouldn't know what was on the screen. And now it can go, well, actually, Jim shared a slide that had this chart and the number from the chart was 10, whereas actually someone else shared this information on the slide and the main bullet points is talking about this kind of thing. It can summarize the visual information you've been shown in a meeting. Think about how much time that's going to save from just writing up notes, from having a big technical architecture workshop, go produce the architecture diagrams based on what we scribbled on a whiteboard. Oh, love it. Loads of stuff going on there. Again, that is super new. Going to be in preview next year, but it's just a little flavor of the kind of things that we're seeing. Again, more stuff in Teams, being able to do a quick summary of a file, share with them in the chat without actually going away. You can just get it in a little sidebar going, summarize the thing they just sent. I don't want to read the whole document. What are they sending me? Cool. Okay, thanks. You've saved me a load of time. Loads of things in there. Just making it better. PowerPoint, being able to just actually build a narrative for you. So not just click a button and design a slide for me, but actually, hey, look, I've got this big document. I need to present it to people. Can you build me a compelling narrative based on this huge document as a PowerPoint slide? And it will actually do it with start, finish, end, structure it properly, build out those template slides. Crazy amounts of time. I mean, as a consultant, that's going to save me ridiculous amounts of time anyway. So just lots and lots and lots of stuff going in there. We saw a demo of Copilot in Excel. So basically just getting it to just build more and more visuals and analysis and do analysis of the numbers inside of Excel, which again is a huge amount of things. So across the next 6 months, we're going to see this massive, massive change in terms of how people work across the entire Office suite of Copilot just getting embedded in absolutely everything, but not in the, it's just an assistant, you ask it a question and it gives you a hallucinated answer. Because of these skills, because of these agentic frameworks, It's a go do a thing for me. This is what I want and how I want it to work. It'll generate its plan. It'll tell you what it's going to do, and it'll actually go and do things. Outlook, draft an agenda for a meeting. Find time for these people to meet. It will go look at their calendars, find a slot where people are free, suggest an agenda, and send the meeting invites. Just gonna help lots of things. Again, all of these things are they're new. So we'll see how well they work. Some of them are going to just work out of the box. Some of them are going to take a little bit of time. Some of them might not quite work for your organization for how things work. And then you'll need to drop into Copilot Studio and start teaching it specifics of actually what you want it to do so it knows how to do it each time. So, yes, lots and lots and lots and lots of things. There's location-based ones. This one is hilariously creepy. So being able to say, well, just have an understanding of where I am and where someone else is. Oh, actually, they're in the office today. You're planning on being in the office. Why don't you get a meeting with them while you happen to be there? Because we know where everyone is. Yeah. Huge amounts of incredible time-saving stuff you can see from there. Just general idea of how utilize the spaces. How often are people in various different offices and how long does it take to travel? And actually, should we hold the meeting over there? Because everyone's coming from over there. Why would you travel across the entire city? Did you not think about logistics? Come on. All that kind of stuff being built in, just general intelligence built in across so many of these things. A whole bunch of stuff to do with looking at how people are actually working. How many people are interacting with Copilot? What kind of things are Copilot doing? How often is this skill being used? Just telemetry about people's usage of this stuff. How much money are you saving? What kind of business impact is it having? Huge amounts of stuff going. Still more Copilot stuff. There's a prompt gallery. So like I was saying, in terms of if there's an action that you commonly ask for and you've written a big prompt with loads of instructions and examples and it's like, please just do this thing over and again, you can kind of save it in your business and go, I've written this, anyone else feel free to use it. So you can go, right, I need to ask Copilot to do something fairly chunky and I'm not really sure how to craft the right prompt. Well, I can go look in the gallery. Oh, someone's done it before. I'm just going to grab that one and tweak it for what I need. It's that kind of thing, starting to see just generally normalizing people using it across this place. So as I said, Copilot was the bulk of all the announcements, and we're seeing so many things, Copilot, but then it's a massive, massive, massive change to how people actually work. This is Gen AI going from a tool I use to do specific jobs, and the level of use I get out of it depends on how technical I am, through to everybody is just going to be starting using it, and we'll see an adoption curve of the early adopters are leaping on it already, and we'll see people slowly normalize it. In a couple of years, people are just going to use this stuff out of the box because it's going to be baked into every product. You won't even realize it's there, and you'll forget. Back in the day, we did things manually all of the time. Be like the old fogey sitting on the chair going, back in my day, I had to write a presentation for myself. I had to think about what I actually did. It's coming. So yeah, lots more stuff. So there's massive opportunities, there are investments, lots of things about how Microsoft's actually working with places, what the impact Gen AI is having on places, lots of things to do with new chipsets to speed things up, lots of work with NVIDIA, AMD, for that stuff. Go and watch the keynote. Again, Azure AI Foundry. This is the rename of Azure AI Studio. So that is the big dev environment for actually doing all this stuff. And we've seen a load of new features go into it. So one, it's now got an SDK. So you can programmatically build things into, then start using things inside AI Foundry, which is cool. The portal is what was used to be AI Studio. Again, that's getting better. We're seeing more and more stuff in there. And again, you're going to see more and more things have agentic frameworks built into it. So again, much of that stuff is just allowing you, where previously maybe you were building it just in a separate dev environment, actually having it so it's plugged into this development studio, plugged into shared storage, plugged into all the networking and security and authentication stuff. But also, because we saw Copilot is actually getting integrations into AI Foundry, if you built a really, really good model, your business users who are kind of customizing their own agent can pick up and use some of your pro dev outputs. Just bringing it all into one story rather than, again, AI being something done over there by those smart people we don't talk to. Yeah, just improving how we do that. Again, more things getting faster, more things getting better, huge amounts of stuff in there. Again, more observability, more telemetry, more risk evaluation. Risk evaluations for images. So if someone puts in an image that is dodgy, you can actually look at it and go, no, look, we can't do that. We're not going to generate an image that is potentially risky. It's not safe. It's just actually just making it all a little bit more protected, all a little bit more managed, all a bit more guided. Again, that's going in, we're seeing that. And then, yeah, lots more stuff around AI, actually bringing AI into the well-architected framework. So that is essentially it's a methodology for doing architecture reviews and making sure that you have designed your architecture well. So have you named the resources in Azure properly? Is it secure? Is it properly managed? Have you put the right tags and locks and flags and things on things? Essentially, have you built things in Azure properly? And actually bring the AI workloads, that's been a thing that we've kind of had to apply things to, but actually making sure that's fully baked in just makes sure people build things better. So if you're building out an AI platform, make sure you are actually referencing that, giving it a tick, and then a consultancy's not going to come and go, no, you fail. You need to now do a load of remediation work. Just generally helps. Got model catalog, again, just expanding the existing open models built in the kind of the wider ecosystem. You can go and plug a load of models other people have built and then start building on it, fine-tuning and using that in your own work. Seeing more and more stuff go in there. AI search is getting even better, and that is a huge part of retrieval augmented generation. Again, that is the thing where if you're building your own custom AI and you wanted to go and be grounded and actually use some real information. So if I go and ask open source ChatGPT and say, hey, what's my HR policy? It'll make up a HR policy, but it doesn't know what my own HR policies are. Whereas if I can embed into my prompt the actual, here's the document, here is the relevant part of my HR policies that I'm asking about, please summarize this text, and I do that as part of my architecture, that's what we're doing there. Azure AI Search can be used as that vector database, that vector search. So I ask it the question, it goes off, finds the relevant document, does the embeddings, passes it back, and that goes into my prompt. And again, just getting better at being able to do that, getting faster, and kind of having some better models so it's actually even better at answering those questions. So much stuff in here. Again, continual standarding is pretty cool. More fine-tuning. If you are building your own model, you're taking an existing large language model and then just retuning the end of it based on your own data, so it's going to answer things in context for you. More stuff you can do in there to make it even better. And then, yeah, other stuff. So dev tools we'll kind of switch past a little bit. Infrastructure stuff. Azure Local was a bit of a surprise. We're like, what? Isn't that just Azure Stack? That is a rename of Azure Stack HCI. So there's essentially, if you want to host all these Azure services, but do it on your own data center, there's a load of stuff in there about it's getting a load of improvements, a load of changes, using Azure Arc for everything. Loads of stuff in there to take a look at. Gonna skip along a little bit more. Lots of new chipsets, lots of stuff they were talking about. Let's go down to data and analytics. So, bunch of things that were announced on the Fabric side of the fence. One of them is contentious, to say the least. So we've now got the ability to use Fabric databases. That is basically an Azure SQL VM, but living inside of your Fabric workspace. Makes entire sense. Why I'm terrified that what this means is all the people who have currently a massive, big on-prem SQL relational data warehouse are going, oh, great. I don't need to think about this whole lake house thing. I don't need to actually embrace separation of storage and compute. I can just whack my existing thing into a database in Fabric and claim I'm building things in a good modern way. And that makes me sad. This is the Azure SQL VM that is great for OLTP workloads. It is great for quick transactional stuff. If you have something where you need to do single record lookups and that kind of stuff, it's going to be great and better than doing things across a big parallel chunky lake for those kind of workloads. But you still want to keep your actual data in a proper lake architecture and do analytics on it in the proper lakey way. You want to be using the database, like the data warehouse experience or the lakehouse experience for all your actual analytical data. This just gives you the ability, if you've got other source systems, if you've got operational data, if you have like an ETL framework and that's running inside a database, it can go there and that's perfect. You don't need to extend it into Azure. Just don't just slap your SQL data warehouses into it. That's not going to go well. But that is there, long time coming, and there's loads of good stuff we can do with it. Very cool. Lots of new AI stuff, so AI functions baked in. So if you're in a notebook and you want to actually, can you run like a Gen AI summarize on each of the rows in this table? You can now do that kind of stuff baked in. Being able to then actually call out these agent skills. So being able to, again, plug it into that big whole push of building things in an agentic way and building out skills. There's integration on the Fabric side, so you can actually just start pulling those things in, using your Fabric data, answering questions. Loads of stuff happening on that side, which is very cool. Got open mirroring, which is essentially a new way of being able to replicate data into Fabric. So there's a whole bunch of stuff there. I've not dug into huge amounts there, but essentially I believe the idea is actually just almost making it way so loads of different tools. So rather than Microsoft going, here's mirroring for this technology, here's mirroring for SQL servers, here's mirroring for SharePoint, whatever it happens to be, it's a way of just actually basically allowing loads and loads of other things to build into a generic open mirroring protocol so they can start plugging things in. Don't know too much about it, but sounds pretty cool. Very, very promising in terms of that whole having to get data into there. We've got a new catalog. So OneLake now has a catalog where we can actually go and say, what data do I have? Because previously we'd have to go into each of the different artifacts, right? What data is in this lake house? What's data in this data warehouse? What's in this semantic model? And that's not a good way of actually going, right, do I have any sensitive data anywhere? And it's all disjointed across these different workspaces and artifacts. So the catalog is essentially going, I'm going to give you that big full list. Here's all the data that you've got. Here's some tagging, here's some searchability, here's some way to govern all the different data you've got in there, which is good, makes a lot of sense. It's a little bit controversial with the name later, but it's fine. SQL Server 2025 is now in private preview, and that has, shockingly enough, a load of AI and Copilot stuff built into it. Again, we're just seeing it pervasively put absolutely everywhere, but it's what people want. Lots of stuff in there. I'm not doing too much into it. Redis apps allowing you to serve things faster. That's getting even better and faster. And again, very, very good for that AI. Grab some data at runtime and use it to make a better decision. Use it as part of your prompt response. Quantum. There's a brilliant piece when Satya was on stage announcing the latest generation of they're able to do 24 logical qubits. And polite applause, as no one really knows what that means or what it does for them. But again, the way that is going, the sudden performance cliff we're going to see just spike up into the air once this is ready is going to be insane. But it's not ready yet. So end of 2025, we're going to start seeing these new machines that are actually going to come out using some of this stuff. Very, very exciting. Okay, other bits and pieces. I think that might actually be my list of stuff I wanted to talk about, honestly. So we've got all those different bits. We've got industry, modern works, not really my side of things. Power Platform, again, we're seeing more power, essentially power apps being used for AI, being used as skills. Essentially, there's going to be this, I'm kind of foreseeing a bit of a migration, honestly. All the people that are currently building power apps essentially going, I'm going to build you an integration between this thing and this thing, and I'm going to do it by adding these boxes and building out these workflows in Power Automate, all that kind of good stuff, are slowly going to start being people building Copilot skills. And there's going to be a shift of, what do you do? Oh, I build Power Platform things to, oh, I'm an AI developer. I work in Copilot Studio and I build skills for things, with then them being that essentially the other layer below, whereas the layer for Power Platform, if someone puts out a Power App, you've got people building actual websites going, well, I'm a web dev, I'm an app dev, I build websites, not the low-code version. That's kind of what we've got with Copilot Studio and Azure AI Foundry. It's the, I'm doing some really, really good low-codey kind of business, like a Copilot skills, versus I'm going off and building my own AI and actually stuff, using libraries, coding it, training it, working on the AI side of things. There's kind of that differentiator. So there's a bunch of stuff in there, and that's kind of about it. The one thing I do want to kind of say that we saw was kind of funny back on that OneLake catalog is we keep seeing it plugged into Purview. There's bits of Purview that we're going to see coming. There's bits of things we're going to see kind of building out on it. So, and actually, that is what people are waiting for. Well, people are waiting on things to actually just get a bit better, get actually working nicer. So, yeah. Looking forward to seeing actually how that works and how searchable it is and how much we can use it and whether we can use that to actually then automate security and do some stuff. Gonna see how that turns out. Cool, right, that is everything I wanted to go through. Now, again, I did warn you, it's basically saying the word Copilot over and over and over and over and over again, but that's essentially where things are going. So whether you are a data engineer, whether you're doing data analytics, whether you are a Power Platform dev, wherever you happen to be, you cannot escape it. AI is going to be part of what you're doing. Either you're building data platforms that are then going to be used by AI to service data, or you're building workflows, and that's just going to turn into something that AI can now use to automate away people's work, or you're just essentially kind of building things yourself and building out the next generation of even more complex and even more powerful agents. So that is the big message. Going, anything you're currently doing manually, and anything you could essentially, if you had a super well-trained assistant with you going, just let me take work off you. Oh, you're going to send the email? I know how to send that email. Let me do that for you. You're writing a status update? I know how to do that. Let me do that for you. That is the vision of where they want Copilot to be. just taking away the mundane, the repeatable, the things we do over and over again, and going, just let Copilot do that so you can focus on the next value stuff. And it's a great message. Once it gets there, once this is all out, once it's all tested and it's evolved and we go through a few iterations, it's all looking pretty cool. So that is all I want to run through. Hopefully that is entertaining and useful. As always, go and look at the book of news yourself. Go and read those different updates. And yeah, have a good one. Cheers.